Hey guys, what's up? I'm Mason with Wyatt & Sons Construction. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to pour a concrete patio. Step one, get a concrete truck. So, dump a bunch out. We got a raker, he's pushing it around. Will's over here magging the edges. He's put chalk lines along the block here, and he's magging the concrete right up to it. Always let the concrete truck driver go first and get out of his way. That way you can get done fast.
That way Gary's not grumpy.
Yeah.
That way. Give Gary what he wants, no grumpy Gary.
When he's pouring that, we're leaving the chalk line open. We don't want to bury the chalk line. So we go right up to it, and then our rakers are gonna push it right up next to it, still not covering the chalk line, and Will's magging it. So if you look along that chalk line, that's where we poured first. We want to create some sort of bench. That gets our height back there, and that's where our screed is gonna ride. After that's all done and good and magged, Jerry will fill in the guts, we'll mag the edge, and pull the screed. Jake's pushing up the concrete right up to the edge. I come in with my Darby.
We're ready for you.
So once that happens, I just mag this whole bench down, right up to the chalk line. Nice and flat. But I'm gonna let Will do this. He's gonna come down this way. I have to go screed. So I push down on my right hand, because that's where my hard bench is, and I jiggle it, and I float it across the wet bench. I like to shake it. It kind of like...
Shake it, boy.
Yeah. Makes it like a creamy surface behind the screed. And then I go behind it. Nag it all down. This guy. He makes it all happen. And if you start stepping around, you're going to have holes and stuff. So as I go back on screed and I kick my feet up, that way I don't put holes under my concrete. Got a stake, go around the stake, back off. I'm low up here, and then you gotta talk to your rakers and tell them where to put the concrete. So
hey,
I'm low
you
here,
worthless, lousy jerk. That's how you talk to the rakers. That's me, keep him coming back. You suck.
Hey, you suck. These guys just always touch up behind it, and I double check my benches, and I do the same thing every time. I just jiggle it, kick my mud in my feet so I don't leave holes, stop, go behind it with my Darby every single time. Every time I'm screeding, I'm pulling this thing over my feet, and if I just pull my foot out, the cream over here falls down. So I'll kick that back in. So when you pull your feet out, you gotta vibrate your foot so it doesn't knock down what you already screeded. All done with this part. Now I gotta bull float and get water. The next part of the pouring finishing process is to bull float it. Basically this is like a giant mag, and it's got a pole here and they connect. You can make this like 30 foot long, and you can reach all the way across your floor and make it nice and shiny and smooth. First thing you gotta do is wet this down, and what that does is make sure you don't like rip the cream off of there. So the water will make it slide. So I got my sprayer here. Get it wet. And usually I also wet my pad down, but since it rained on it, it's already pretty wet, so I don't have to do that. Alright, I'll show you how this works. So I pick this up, turn it around. Whoop. See that, how it swings? It picks up the edge. Get right on the edge here, and either up or down. You want to try and keep it pretty flat. So I just tip it up a little bit, ride it across the edge, keep it flat. But you just try and ride it flat, nice and smooth pools. You don't want to dig down into your concrete. Lots of water on there. I'm gonna do this probably 2 or 3 times. I like to walk with it. If you start pulling it with your hands like this, it kind of makes it bumpy. So I walk with it. Just hold on to the end here and walk. It stopped raining, but it's still really wet on there, so I'm gonna do this one more time and then I'll edge it. All done bull floating. Now I gotta edge along the forms here. Alrighty, edger time. I got my edger. Same thing, you wanna wet this down before you start. Alrighty, wet the edger. First step, you gotta clean this edge off. Once you do that, scrape it in, start cutting it. I walk it. I'm just showing you how to do it if you're a beginner. You just walk it down. Create that edge, pull it back. Nice and smooth. You want to hold it completely flat. You don't want to push down into your corner like that. You don't want to push down the other way. You want it to ride right along what you already poured. If there's ever any holes, like I have in this corner, right here, there's holes. So all I do is I take my edger here and I scoop some cream up, put it right there, or you can pull it in like I just did right there. No holes, and you're good to keep going. So again, it is way too wet, but I like to do it early. I'm gonna let it set for another 10 minutes, let it dry up, edge it again. But once you're done edging that, you take your mag and you clean it up. I like to just ride on the form. And that's how you know if you poured it good. If you can't push it along here and there's like holes and stuff, you kind of tilted your edger the wrong way or something. But see how it gets nice and flat off of that? That's what you're looking for. Edge the second time, magged off. So this is what it should look like. It should look really smooth, glassy. Now all we gotta do is hang out on these chairs over here till it gets hard. It's been about 3 hours since we poured and it's setting up underneath, but it is raining. So the top is still super wet, we can't finish it. So
it's tight to the doors.
We're building a tent. We're lucky enough to have a wall here that's new construction, so it's not finished yet. We're just screwing a board across and then screwing a bunch of other ones down that way, making a tent across our pour. We got all our boards lined up and screwed in, making a tent now, ready for some plastic.
This is the most labor-intensive pad in the history of concrete for 2 yards ever.
Cut an extra long piece of plastic. Nailed the plastic down at the top, put some weights down at the bottom. Now we gotta mag off all the water. In the tent, all this water's gotta get magged off. It's really hard, but the surface is really creamy. So we mag it off once, that'll help dry it out, and then we can finish it. We magged off all the water, spread the mud boards back out. We're gonna let it set for about 5 minutes and then finish this. We're starting the finishing process, so we lined the mud boards up all the way down our pour. Jake squared or magging out all the mud board marks, making all the cream pop up, and I'm brushing it. Every mud board mark, they go in circles all around it to get that mark out of there. It'll make it look way better on the brush, but that's the technique we do to make it look nice. So they magged it nice and good, no holes along the wall. Start, and I just go right across with my brush. There's tons of different ways you can do this. Most people prefer the straight broom method, but I think this looks better, so that's what we do. We're all done finishing. It's still raining, so we're leaving the tarp on here. show you what the finished product looks like. All brushed and edged. Looks pretty good for getting rained on all morning. I mean, looks perfect to me, but that's it. Tomorrow we'll come back, rip the forms off, rip the tent down.